Hey, before we even start, let me ask you something. After the last video, did you actually lace up and go? Or did you watch it, feel pumped, and then nothing? Be honest. Nobody's watching. Just you and me right now. Because in the last episode, we talked about taking that first real step, getting off the couch, stopping the excuses, and if you did it, genuinely, actually did it, I'm proud of you. That's not sarcasm. That took something. But here's the thing. A lot of people who started running, they didn't just start. They went full send. They went from 0 to I'm running 5 days a week now. And that's exactly what this episode is about. Because I was one of those people. And what happened next was not pretty. If you're new here, hit subscribe. This is a series. We're building something together, episode by episode. Missing one means missing a piece of the puzzle. And the puzzle only makes sense when you see the whole picture. All right, let's get into it. So here's what happened. I started running. Felt good, like really good. That first week, I ran twice. Felt amazing. Runner's high is real, by the way. I'm not going to pretend it's not. Your brain floods with all these chemicals, and you finish a run feeling like you could take on anything. It's addictive. That's the word. Addictive. So naturally, I thought, if 2 runs a week feel this good, 5 runs a week must feel even better. That's just math, right? More input, more output. More effort, more reward. That's how life works. Except it's not how running works. Not even close. Week 2, I'm running 5 days. Legs are sore, but I push through because that's what tough people do. Week 3, I'm still going. Now my knees are starting to talk to me. Not scream, just talk. Little whispers. I ignored them. Big mistake. Week 4, I wake up one morning, try to get out of bed, and my left shin feels like someone took a baseball bat to it. I'm hobbling around my apartment like a man 3 times my age. No run that day. No run the next day either. And then, before I knew it, 2 weeks off the road. All that momentum gone. Just like that. You want to know the worst part? It was completely preventable. Every single bit of it. Here's the reality that nobody tells you when you're excited and motivated and ready to go. Your cardiovascular system adapts way faster than your body does. Your heart, your lungs, your mind, they're ready to run every day after just a few weeks. But your tendons, your ligaments, your bones, those take months, sometimes longer. So you feel fine while you're running. You finish and think, I'm not even tired, I could have gone longer. And that feeling is lying to you. That feeling is the trap. Your body is absorbing stress it hasn't told you about yet. It's like a credit card. You're spending, and it feels fine because the bill hasn't arrived. But the bill always arrives. Always. And when it does, it arrives with interest. This is what I call the enthusiasm debt. And almost every new runner falls into it. You get excited, you go hard, you ignore the signals, and then your body sends you a final notice. Sometimes it's shin splints. Sometimes it's knee pain. Sometimes it's a stress fracture. Sometimes it's just crushing exhaustion that makes you not want to run ever again. And then people quit. They blame running. They say, running isn't for me. But running isn't what failed them. Their plan failed them. Or more honestly, their lack of a plan failed them. Pensa nisso. Now let me expose something uncomfortable. Because I see this constantly, and I've done it myself. And maybe you're doing it right now without even realizing it. When people start running more days and things start falling apart, the soreness, the fatigue, the little pains, they don't stop and think, maybe I'm doing too much. No. They start building a case for why they need to keep going anyway. And the excuses they use? They sound really good. That's the dangerous part. No pain, no gain. That's a classic. People love this one. It sounds like discipline. It sounds like toughness. But here's what nobody explains. There's a difference between the discomfort of effort and the warning signals of injury. One is your body adapting. The other is your body breaking. And if you can't tell the difference, you're going to destroy yourself while feeling like a warrior. I'll rest when I'm done with this training block. Oh yeah? And when exactly is the training block done? Be honest with yourself, because I know people who've been in a training block for 2 years straight. There's always a reason to push. Always another goal right around the corner. Rest never fits into the schedule because rest never feels productive. Rest feels like quitting. Except it's the opposite of quitting. Rest is literally where your improvement happens. Your body doesn't get stronger during the run. It gets stronger after, while you recover. Cut the recovery, cut the progress. It's that simple. Other people run every day and they're fine. Are they though? Or are they just not talking about the ice baths, the anti-inflammatories, the 2 stress fractures last year, the physical therapy appointment every other Thursday? You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Ridiculo. And I mean that with love. If I take a day off, I'll lose everything. This one, I understand. I really do. Because when you finally build momentum, rest feels like throwing it all away. But here's the truth. Fitness is not that fragile. You're not going to lose your cardiovascular base in 48 hours. You're not going to forget how to run. What you will lose, if you don't rest, is the ability to keep running at all. That's the actual risk. Okay, so we've established that running every day when you're still early in your journey is probably a bad idea. And we've established that the excuses we use to keep going despite the warning signs are mostly just fear dressed up as discipline. Now, let me give you something you can actually use. Something real. The concept is simple. Run less, build more. I know that sounds backwards. Stick with me. When you're in the early stages of becoming a consistent runner, and by early I mean the first 6 months, roughly, your job is not to maximize volume. Your job is to build the habit and protect the structure. The habit is showing up. The structure is your joints, your tendons, your bones, everything that supports the actual running. If you destroy the structure chasing volume, there's no habit left to maintain because there's no healthy body left to run with. So here's what actually works. 3 days of running per week, with real rest days in between. Not active recovery disguised as more running, actual rest. Or easy walks. Something that isn't stressing your body the same way running does. 3 days. And on those 3 days, you don't sprint. You don't race yourself. You don't try to beat last week's pace. You just run. Conversationally. At a pace where you could hold a full sentence without gasping. That's the right intensity for most of your runs, especially now. Now, I know what you're thinking. 3 days? That's nothing. I want to get better faster. And here's what I want you to understand. You will get better faster on 3 intentional days than on 5 sloppy, depleted, injury-flirting days. Because the quality of your effort matters. And you cannot run quality when you're running on empty, on legs that haven't recovered, on a nervous system that's fried. Here's the other thing nobody talks about. When you take a rest day, your body doesn't stop working. It starts working on you. It's rebuilding the micro tears in your muscles. It's reinforcing your tendons. It's processing everything you did. Rest is not passive. Rest is when the adaptation happens. So if you're skipping rest to add more running, you're not just adding stress. You're stealing your own gains. On top of that, something interesting happens psychologically when you train 3 days instead of 5. You start looking forward to your runs. The dread goes away. You stop waking up and groaning when you check your running app. You actually miss it on your off days. And that feeling, that genuine desire to get out there, that's sustainable. That's what builds a lifelong habit. The people who run for decades are not the people who burned brightest at the beginning. They're the people who protected the flame. Now let's zoom out for a second and talk about where we are in this journey. Because this series isn't just a collection of running tips thrown together. We're building something. Each episode moves us forward. We went from deciding to start, to actually starting, to now, understanding that more isn't always better, and that real progress is strategic, not just effortful. And this is actually one of the most important shifts you can make as a runner. It's the shift from, I'm going to grind through this, to, I'm going to be smart about this. One of those approaches burns out after a few months. The other one turns you into someone who's still running 10 years from now, who runs half marathons and feels good doing it, who uses running as a tool for life instead of a punishment they keep quitting. Where are you in that shift right now? Think about it. Genuinely ask yourself, am I training with intention, or am I just accumulating miles and hoping something good happens? Because hoping isn't a training plan. Let me tell you something else that happened when I kept pushing through all that pain and fatigue. I stopped enjoying it. Running went from something that made me feel alive to something that felt like an obligation, like homework, like something I had to survive rather than something I got to do. And that shift, that emotional shift, is actually more dangerous than the physical damage, because physical damage heals. But if you associate running with suffering and failure and pain, that association sticks, and a lot of people never come back from it. I've seen it happen. Person gets excited, goes too hard, gets hurt, takes forced time off, loses motivation, and never quite comes back to it the same way. They might run occasionally, but that spark, that thing that made them feel like a runner, it's gone. And it didn't have to go. It was taken from them by impatience. Don't let that be your story. Before I close this out, let me give you one more practical thing to walk away with. A simple rule that saved my running and probably saved yours if you use it. It's called the 10% rule, and it's been around forever for a reason. It works. The rule says, don't increase your weekly mileage by more than 10% from one week to the next. That's it. If you ran 10 miles this week, don't run more than 11 next week. If you ran 3 days, don't jump to 5. Slow progression. Boring. Sustainable. Effective slow progression. Your ego is going to fight this. Your ego is going to say you can handle more. Your ego is going to look at other runners on social media doing massive mileage and tell you that you're falling behind. Tell your ego to be quiet. The 10% rule exists because your body's connective tissue literally cannot adapt faster than that. This isn't a suggestion, it's biology. Apply it. Be boring. Progress. So here's where we land today. You decided to run more. Good. Impulse. Wrong execution. You went from 0 to 5 days a week and something broke. Your body, your motivation, or both. And now you understand why. Your enthusiasm was outrunning your physiology. You were spending on a credit card you couldn't pay off. And the excuses you were using, no pain, no gain. I can't stop now. Other people do more. Those were just fear and ego dressed up as discipline. The fix is not complicated. It's boring on purpose. 3 intentional days. Real rest. Between them. Runs at a pace you can actually breathe through. Progression that respects what your body can absorb. And patience. Not the passive kind, but the kind that trusts the process even when the process feels slow. Stop chasing volume. Start building capacity. There's a difference. And that difference is the whole game. But here's the thing. And this is the part that's going to hit different in the next video. I just told you 3 days a week is the smart play early on. And you might be thinking, okay, eventually I can just run every day and be fine, right? That's the goal. That's where I'm headed. And that's exactly what we need to talk about next. Because in the next episode, we're going deep on daily running, what it actually does to your body, why it works for some people and completely destroys others, and the specific signs that tell you whether your body is ready for it, or whether pushing that direction right now would be the biggest mistake you make in your running journey. I'm going to show you something in that episode that's going to challenge everything you think you know about consistency and volume and what it means to train hard. Running every day sounds disciplined, sounds committed, sounds like the move. But for a lot of people, it's quietly doing damage they won't even feel until it's too late. Don't miss that one. Seriously, it's the episode I wish someone had shown me before I made every mistake I'm going to describe. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Subscribe. This series is building week by week, and dropping in mid-series is like starting a book on Chapter 7. You can do it, but you're missing context that makes everything better. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll know the second the next one drops. And before you go, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now. Tell me, what's the most days you've ever run in a single week? And what happened? Did you crush it? Did you fall apart? Did you get injured? Did you just burn out emotionally? I want to know. Real answers. No flexing. Just truth. Because the comments on this series are turning into something real. People sharing their actual experiences, learning from each other, keeping each other honest. Be part of that. I'll see you in the next one. Rest up. Run smart. And remember, the goal isn't to run as much as possible. The goal is to still be running 10 years from now. That's it. Let's go.